Being January 2013, it's about 20 degrees in Chicago. Right now I'm in my office. Kind of. This is Bussy Woods, and there's a great path that goes around Bussy Woods if you MapQuest or Google Earth search and zoom in on the area. It's mostly a green area with two very big lakes in Elk Grove Village, between Elk Grove Village and Schaumburg, for those of you who are familiar with the area. But it's right down the street from my office. So for lunch, and instead of wolfing down my food, I decided to go for a quick walk and get a little bit more grounded again. Middle of the day is great. Can't really get into a yoga class, so this is the next best thing, and it's free. Anyway, the month of January also hallmarks a change, the beginning of something new. And with a recent lecture I gave on how to template a lifestyle change, a sustainable lifestyle change, one of the slides, or one of the discussions that I had in class in the lecture, was whether or not to take advantage of nutritional education in the form of a registered dietitian. Now, there's several different forms of where you can find your education to learn about your food, and it is important. A registered dietitian, I think, is the most validly trained, because we rely on registered dietitians in the hospital. The hospital always has to hold training accountable and make sure credentialing is up to par, so they do have to jump through a lot of hoops, produce some documentations of training, versus somebody going for nutritional education. And I know some great nutritionists. I know some great personal trainers and exercise physiologists that have fantastic knowledge of nutrition. But the bottom line is that you really should not go it alone. And if you're 30 years of age in the United States and slightly overweight, then you probably have some regiment or some dietary plan that has worked in the past to help you lose a couple pounds quickly, 5 to 10. But the theory, or my suggestion, is that if you do that on a regular basis, that means you keep on gaining it back. If I am going to invest my time into making a lifestyle change for a patient, and they're going to invest their time and trust in me, I expect that change to last a lifetime. I do not think it is too lofty of a goal. Just think of it: if you keep on gaining weight during times of stress, working to get fired up, especially with the New Year's resolutions, but then you fall off the wagon and you gain it back again, the likelihood is that when you gain it back, the body's going to compensate. Your metabolic rate, your brain, is going to compensate and gain 1 or 2 extra pounds in addition to what you had before. There was a reproducible study, credible, that compared all the dietary authors out there, Atkins, Pritikin, South Beach, so forth. And within 12 months, most people who started dietary regimes like that gained it all back, in addition to a couple pounds. I think people refer to that as yo-yoing, layman's term, but that's not healthy. That actually is a stressor as well. The stress comes in, and it's not angry stress, being angry all day or depressed. It's just a stressor to your body. And as I've mentioned in other tutorials, the more stressors you add to your body, in addition to all the toxic stuff that's out there, ultraviolet radiation, perchlorate in the water supply, electromagnetic radiation, the more trauma you add or stressors you add, the higher the likelihood for accumulated damage later on. So we try to make a change last. And that's why I think the basic premise of using somebody who is very talented, knowledgeable about nutrition is important. Because if you rely on the bulk knowledge that you've had that worked in the past for a few pounds in a few weeks, then the likelihood is you're going to fail or be at the same place you were the last time you tried to lose weight. So the other thing to contemplate too is that science is fantastic. Today you can get down to even the physiology of how a food group affects your emotion, how volume affects stomach satiety, how smells affect your hunting reflex, so how sleep, especially with our sleep shift workers, sleep shift deprivation patients who are suffering from sleep disorder of some sort. When the brain is fatigued, it will ask you to put aside the usual thinking process and make you crave things that you know you shouldn't be having. So science is very specific, it's advancing, and you really have to keep up with what is being put out there, and there are some great things that you might be able to take advantage of that can help you make that sustainable change or hang on to it. And maybe even being accountable to somebody else would increase your chances for keeping the weight off and maintaining a lifestyle change. We would all like to lose weight fast, but it doesn't come off fast. If you're inspired because of the new year, then great. My goal is to take that inspiration you have and translate it into something where you can get to the next plateau or pinnacle, reassess, and then see what worked, add to it, and continue losing weight. It's ultimately going to be a molding. You mold your body, your nutrition knowledge, your exercise endeavors, your loves, your wants, your relationships, and you see if you can make small changes that are lasting. Even if they're lasting just for a short amount of time, you make the change, you see what comes out, and then you reassess. I usually go one season at a time. Average sport in high school and college is about 3 to 4 months, so that would be a season for me. After about 3 or 4 months, reassess your successes, address possible failures, and have another plan made up. If you have a third party that you're obligated to answer to, sometimes brainstorming gives you more ideas than figuring out problem solving on your own. Especially if you're 30, 40, or 50 and you're kind of set in your ways. There's nothing wrong with that. I think ritual is great, but being accountable makes you think outside the box. And the more ideas that you have outside the box, the higher you stack the odds in your favor.